Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. Today is the day. Game 5 of the ALDS is here. The winner advances to the ALCS to take on the Houston Astros, and the loser is eliminated. The stakes have never been higher in this Season 5, the most important game of the year, and one of the most important games of the entire series. Our Orioles have won 2 in a row on the road, including a crazy 5-4 victory in Game 4. German Marquez was dominant on the mound for us. He had a perfect game going into the 7th inning, a no-hitter going into the 8th, and we almost blew it. The Angels had an opportunity to win the game down by 1 with a runner on second in the bottom of the 9th inning, but Edwin Diaz was able to close it off to help us get the save. So going into Game 5, both teams had their projected 5th starters who would normally be scheduled to pitch. For the Angels, it's Sandy Alcantara, who had a great season for them. However, they have opted to go with their ace, Griffin Canning, instead. Canning won the Cy Young Award through the American League, and he pitched very well in Game 1 of this series. For the Orioles, this would be Triston McKenzie's scheduled start. And I asked you guys, do you think we should go with McKenzie, or should we go with the ace, Shane Bieber? I think the choice is easy. Although I do think Triston McKenzie would be able to pitch at a high level in this game, there's a reason why we signed Shane Bieber to an $150 million contract, and it's to pitch in games like this. Bieber finished second in the AL Cy Young voting, only behind Griffin Canning, so we get to see the 2 best pitchers in the American League face off in the biggest stage. We're not going to waste a ton of time talking about this game because this one ended up being a thriller. Not to spoil anything, but as you'll see throughout this episode, probably the craziest game of this entire series. The Orioles have all the momentum going into Game 5 after winning 2 straight on the road, a blowout Game 3 win, and a narrow Game 4 win. But on the flip side, home teams are 0-4 in this series. The Angels won the first 2 decisively in Baltimore. So the home team has really struggled in this postseason series. The other time a playoff series in this franchise went the max amount of games was the ALCS in Season 3. It went 7 games. The Orioles lost to Minnesota. In that series, the home team lost every game. So that might just be some kind of curse. Here are the lineups. Regular starters for the most part for both sides. Obviously, you want your best players playing in the most important games. As here is Shane Bieber, the ace of the staff. He was signed to an $150 million contract this offseason to play in games like this. By far the most important start of his Baltimore Oriole career, and he gets a chance to prove on the biggest stage why he was given such a large contract this offseason. So it's Edgar Feliz, the young rookie, leading things off for the Angels. Big swing and a miss on the high cutter. Good start here for Shane Bieber, who lost in Game 1 of this series. He didn't pitch poorly in that matchup, but he was outplayed by Griffin Canning. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. now watches the changeup sail right by him. Gurriel has really struggled in this series. It feels like he is striking out in at least half of his at-bats. Anthony Rendon now 1-2, swinging a miss on the outside slider. The Angel lineup does not put the bat to the ball there in the first inning as Shane Bieber strikes out the side. Pretty good start in this one for Bieber. Griffin Canning on the mound for the Angels, the only player to finish higher in the Cy Young race than Shane Bieber. Canning pitched 6 great innings in Game 1, proving why he won the Cy Young Award, and he's going to look to win the Angels another game in this series to send them to the ALCS. Jalen Miller leads things off. Miller had a great Game 4 performance, and he starts off Game 5 strong. Trout is unable to make the grab, and it's an early double for Jalen Miller. So the Orioles already have a runner aboard in scoring position, just the start that this team needed. That'll bring up Shed Lawn, who had a quiet Game 4, but other than that has been dominant in the postseason. As he singles in into right, Miller will hold up at third. No reason to risk it with nobody out, and the Orioles have the juice of their order up with multiple runners on and nobody out. That starts with Lenny Lane, who had by far his best postseason performance of the year in Game 4. Grounds it to third. It looks like this will be a double play, and it will. However, Jalen Miller does score. So even though the Angels get 2 outs on that play, the Orioles still get a run, and they lead this game 1-0. That'll now bring up the AL MVP, Louis St. John, who has really started to come on the past couple of games, and he continues his hot streak with a single into center. St. John has not been racking up base hits in the postseason as he's done in the regular season, but he's been a singles machine. That'll now bring up Nick Castellanos. He grounds this one into left field for a hit. 4 of the first 5 Baltimore Oriole batters have gotten hits today. Pretty remarkable. So now it's first and second, a huge opportunity for Adley Rutschman, and he checks his swing on the fastball. So Griffin Canning gets out of the jam, even though he allowed 4 of the 6 batters to get hits. They only allow 1 run, so not an awful inning for the Angels, but a good start here for the Baltimore Orioles as they lead 1-0. Shane Bieber's dominance continuing early in the second as he strikes out Mike Trout on the cutter. So that's 4 straight strikeouts to open up the game here for Shane Bieber. We just saw German Marquez in the last game pitch 7 1/3 perfect innings, and it looks like Shane Bieber is off to that same hot start as well. I don't know what's been up with the Angel lineup the past couple of days, but they have completely fallen apart. That'll now bring up Jesse Winker. He looks at the outside slider. Bieber is now 5 for 5 on strikeouts. Can he make it 6 for 6 against Jared Walsh? No, Walsh actually puts the ball in play, but it is a grounder to third, fielded cleanly for the out by Ryan Mountcastle. So 2 dominant innings here for Shane Bieber, and it took the Angels 6 batters to even just put the ball in play. And if Bieber keeps at this pace, we could be in store for a historic pitching performance. Ryan Mountcastle up here in the bottom of the second, bloops it into right. That'll go for a hit. The Orioles lineup, who could barely hit the ball in the first couple games, already has 5 base hits tonight. That's a lot. Now, they've all, for the most part, been singles, other than the double by Jalen Miller, as Carmen Sixto grounds it up the middle, weakly hit. The Angels looking to turn 2, and they do. It's a 4-6-3 double play. Good work there by the Angel infield for a big-time out. That would now bring us to the third inning. Jorge Polanco leads things off for Los Angeles, swinging a miss on the fastball. Shane Bieber up to 6 strikeouts on the game, and the Angel lineup still has had no answer. Brandon Marsh is now up 1-2. What else do you expect? This time it's the high cutter for strikeout number 7. Shane Bieber is looking like he's worth every penny of that $150 million right now. Sean Murphy, the catcher, is now up 3-2, draws a walk. So the perfect game is unfortunately dead here for Bieber. Doesn't last as long as German Marquez's, but Shane Bieber has still pitched extraordinarily well. Edgar Feliz grounds it to second. Shed Long fields it cleanly to get the out. So through 3 innings, Shane Bieber has allowed 1 base runner, no hits, only 2 balls in play, and 7 strikeouts. He has been unbelievably remarkable so far. Shed Long up in the bottom of the third with 1 away, lines it into right field, and Shed Long is an early 2 for 2 today, breaking out of his 1-game slump that he was in. So Shed Long is clearly right back to business, and the Orioles have another base runner aboard. A big-time opportunity here for Lenny Lane, the only player to drive in a run so far today, as he singles this one into center field. Long holds up at second, and now the Orioles have a pair of runners on with 1 away for Louis St. John, the MVP, who already has a base hit earlier today. 1-2 pitch, weakly grounded to short. The Angels are going to look to turn 2, and they do not. Louis St. John beats out the throw, and the inning stays alive. Now we have a pair of runners on the corners here for Nick Castellanos, who started this series off very slow, not getting a hit in his first 8 at-bats, but ever since then, he's gotten a hit in 5 straight, trying to make it 6 in a row, and that will not happen, as it is caught by Mike Trout. The Angels have left quite a few runners on base today. Griffin Canning has allowed far too many base hits, and the Angels are kind of lucky. They're only down by 1, with Shane Bieber far outperforming Canning up to this point. As we go to the 4th inning, there's strikeout number 8 on Anthony Rendon as he goes down on the knuckle curve. The Angels just cannot do anything off of Shane Bieber, who looks like a madman possessed right now. Facing off against Mike Trout. Hits this one into center, and it is caught. Nice play by Bowman. 4 no-hit innings for Shane Bieber. That's the farthest a ball has gone today by the Angels by a landslide. I think that's the first one that's actually gone in the air, if we're being honest. Bottom 4 now, Ryan Mountcastle with 1 away. Singles into center, Trout unable to field it cleanly, so Mountcastle is now 2-2. And the Orioles are continuing to get base hits at ease tonight as they've gotten 8 in just over 3 innings. However, they only have 1 run to show for it. Carmen Sixto lines that one fair. Walsh cannot make the play. Sixto is going to try to get back to first, and he is safe. Lourdes Gurriel could have easily picked him off, but he was just lollygagging out there. A potentially wasted opportunity for the Angels, as that brings up Xavier Bowman, who is a measly 1 for 10 so far in the postseason. He has not hit the ball well, but he's going to change that right here. Bowman hits it into left center field. That one will drop for extra bases. Mountcastle scores. It's now 2-0. Some miscommunication on the base passes. I think Bowman was expecting Carmen Sixto to go home. So Bowman is tagged out, but it's still an RBI double, and it's now 2-0. However, you cannot make that mistake if you're Xavier Bowman in a do-or-die game. I mean, Xavier Bowman's young. He's only 20 years old, but can't do that. But still a big hit. Jalen Miller, the following batter, flies out to center. So another batter left on, 90 feet away from home. But the Orioles do drive in another one. So I suppose that inning could have been a lot worse. And Baltimore leads 2-0. They already have 10 hits. The Angels still have 0 as we go to the 5th. Jesse Winker up for Los Angeles. 3-2 pitch. Goes down looking on the four-seam fastball. Shane Bieber now up to 9 strikeouts on the day. And he's only recorded 13 outs total. That'll now bring up Jared Walsh. 1-2. Another one. This time on the outside cutter. Make it double digits and not even 5 innings for Shane Bieber. He's at 68 pitches, which is a little high, as Jorge Polanco grounds it to short. Jalen Miller gets to it slowly, and that'll be an infield single. The no-hitter is dead, and it's not Shane Bieber's fault. Lazy defense by Jalen Miller, and that gives the Angels a big opportunity for Brandon Marsh. Hits it nicely into left field. That'll go for a hit, and it goes right by Louis St. John. What kind of defense was that? The American League MVP completely botches that play. 1 run scores. March headed home into the inside the park home run. And this game is tied at 2. What a dramatic switch in momentum just like that. The Orioles were dominating through 4 innings, and now the Angels are right back in it. Louis St. John, who's been arguably the best player in baseball this season, completely missed it, and as you look at it, that ball was never even close to his glove. It's not like it scraped by. He just totally botched it. So now this game is tied at 2. Murphy strikes out. The sad thing is, both of those runs are going to count against Shane Bieber when Jorge Polanco never should have reached base, and the Brandon Marsh hit should have never been more than a single, and he should have never even gotten at bat because there should have been 3 outs. Wow, what a big time play for the Angels. You cannot make those types of mistakes in Game 5. As we go to the bottom half of the inning, Lenny Lynn goes down looking on the curveball, canning up to 4 strikeouts on the day. Now facing off against Louis St. John. Swinging and miss on the fastball. Griffin Canning is now starting to build some momentum, and this once looked like a possible blowout. Now the Angels have tied it, and they own all of the momentum. Edgar Feliz leads off the 6th, hits it nicely into left field. St. John cannot make the play as it bounces off the wall for a double, and now the Angels are really starting to do some damage. Feliz is on base in scoring position with nobody out for the heart of the lineup due up. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. weakly gets out by Shedlawn. It's a single into right. The throw from Castellanos to the plate is offline, and the Los Angeles Angels have taken the lead. It's now 3-2. Big single for Gurriel, who is fired up at first base. And from there, Shane Bieber's day is done. Bieber was dominating through 4 2/3 innings. He had a no-hitter. And then after 2 bad plays by Jalen Miller and Louis St. John on defense, it has gone all downhill since then. Bieber allows the first 2 batters in the 6th inning to get hits, and now he's going to be removed from the game. Jonathan Hernandez will replace him. Hernandez making his 2nd postseason appearance of the year, was good in his first one as Anthony Rendon opens things up with a single into left field. Keep in mind, there is nobody out, by the way. The Angels now have 5 hits within the last 6 at-bats. As that brings up Mike Trout. 1-2 pitch. This one is hit into center. Bowman should catch it. That's a big out for the Baltimore Orioles. They needed that one bad. because the Angels have really taken over the driver's seat in this ball game, so they had to get Mike Trout out, which they do, and that brings up a big pair of lefties with Winker and Walsh is the next two. That starts with Jesse Winker. Hits it nicely in the left field. That one looks like it'll go for extra bases. That's the runner, Gurriel, who scores pretty easily. An RBI double for Jesse Winker, and the Angels now lead 4-2 with a pair of runners in scoring position. This game is continuing to not just slip away from the Orioles, but just completely fall out of their grasp as Walsh strikes out a big K for Jonathan Hernandez, and that sends us to a huge at-bat here for the 7-hole hitter, Jorge Polanco, who grounds it to second. Shed Lawn fields it cleanly. So the Orioles get out of the inning, but they allow another 2 runs. Although Baltimore is not out of this game, as I've been saying, the Angels have completely stolen all of the momentum, and the Orioles do not feel like they're in a good position right now. Griffin Cannon's day is done. Mike Myers will enter in his place. So both pitchers were solid. Although Bieber allowed 4 runs, I think it was obvious he was better, as Castellanos grounds it to short. Polanco does a good job of deflecting it, but it'll still be an infield single. A good start there for Castellanos. We know this lineup is dangerous, and the Orioles are far from out of this game, even if they're not looking good right now. Adley Rutschman, the very next batter, lines it nicely into right center field. That's going to drop for an extra base hit. Will Castellanos go home? It looks like he's going to retreat at third with no outs. Again, no reason to risk it. Although with the weakish throw, he probably would have been safe. But if the Orioles put the ball in play here within the next couple of bats, they should be fine. Ryan Mountcastle is 2 for 2 today, and he will ground this one to short. So there you go. Nick Castellanos will score. A good at-bat there for Ryan Mountcastle. Even though he's out, he does drive in a run, and the lead is now cut down to 1, as it's 4-3, and there's still a runner on second base, keep in mind. If Xavier Bowman can get a base hit here, we could be looking at a tie game. Unfortunately, that does not happen, as he strikes out on the curveball. That pitch was an absolute beauty, and it would have been a ball 4 had he looked at it. So, the Orioles cut the lead in half to 1, but with 3 innings to go, the momentum still belongs with the Angels. The lefty Colin Poche will enter here in the 7th, his second postseason appearance of the year. Did not allow a run in his first one as he faces off against Brandon Marsh, who grounds it to third, and the throw is off from Ryan Mountcastle, and the defense from the Orioles continues to get worse and worse. That's the first play that's actually classified as an error. Sean Murphy now hits it high, deep in the left center, at the track, at the wall, it is caught. Good play by Louis St. John to get over to the baseball, but that one for a second looked like the Angels could have iced this game with a big hit or a home run. So now there's one away. That'll bring up Edgar Feliz. He grounds it to first. Good play by Carmen Sixto to deflect it. He flips it over to the pitcher, Poche, to get the out. But the original base runner does advance to second base. So now there's a runner in scoring position. A major opportunity for Gurriel. He draws a walk. So now there are 2 on, 2 out, and the next 2 batters up, Rendon and Trout, the 2 best hitters in this lineup. That starts with Anthony Rendon, who's 1 for 3 today. He goes down looking on the curveball. Huge strikeout for Colin Poche. The Angels are left off the board here in the 7th inning, and the Baltimore lineup now has 3 more innings to get back in this game and save their season. James Pazos, the lefty, is in for his 3rd postseason appearance, showing off the mustache. As it's the top of the order, who opens things up? That starts with Jalen Miller. He lines it nicely into left field. It is caught. Since we're down to the wire in this game, I'm probably going to show every at-bat from here on out, just to add to the suspense a little bit. Good play there by Winker. That'll now bring up the number 2 hitter, Shed Lawn, who has a couple base hits today. He is facing off against a fellow lefty as he goes down on the sinker. Big strikeout for Pazos, and the Angels are now 7 outs away from finishing the job off. Lenny Lang, another lefty, is up. Count is 1-2. Pitch from Pazos. This one is weakly grounded over to second, fielded by Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and the Los Angeles Angels are 2 innings away from advancing to the ALCS. But it's only a 1-run game. The Orioles lineup has been better today than the Angels. Outside of that nice stretch in the late 5th and early 6th, the Angels' offense has been horrible. Brusdar Graterol in the 8th inning. He's allowed 2 runs in 2 innings so far in the playoffs as he strikes out Mike Trout. It's been a rough one from best player in baseball today, Mike Trout, who is 0 for 4 as we looked at the starter comparisons. I know it says Shane Bieber allowed 4 runs, but we know how dominant he was. Jesse Winker grounds it to second. Good play by Shed Lawn, and a good start to the inning here for Brusdar Graterol, who, although has struggled in the postseason, is looking good today as he strikes Jared Walsh out looking on the slider. So Graterol retires the side, and it'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Orioles: St. John, Castellanos, and Rutschman, all of whom were all-star starters this year, as it's Jaime Barria on the mound for the Angels, facing off against Louis St. John, the American League MVP, who hits it high, deep, into left field, and this game is tied up! A solo home run for Louis St. John, making up for his defensive blunder from earlier in the game. St. John trotting around the bases, celebrating with the third base coach, or I guess not really because he faked him out. What a big hit by Louis St. John, the biggest of his 56 home runs this year combined in the regular season and now the playoffs. Probably the biggest home run of this entire series. The best player on this team coming up clutch when they needed him. Now, yes, Louis St. John has not been great today. He single-handedly allowed 2 runs to score, but he also ties the game up. That'll now bring up Nick Castellanos. Lines it to third. Nice grab by Anthony Rendon. Looked like it would have been another base hit for Castellanos. Would have been his third. That brings up Adley Rutschman. 2-2. Weakly hit. Popped into the infield. Rendon under it for the play. And Adley Rutschman's been pretty quiet today. Only 1 for 4. Although through the postseason, he has been excellent. So I don't really want to take anything away from Adley Rutschman because he has been great. That'll bring up Ryan Mountcastle, who's also been very good in this postseason. He's been pretty good today. 2 for 3 as he bloops it into shallow center. Not even. And it's caught by Lourdes Gurriel. So Louis St. John ties the game up with a solo home run, and as we enter the 9th inning, this one is knotted up at 4. It's anybody's game with 1 inning to go, and this game very well could go into extra innings. Julian Starnes is in for Baltimore. He is not allowed to run yet in the postseason. The Orioles invested a very high draft pick on him a couple of years ago, just like they did with Louis St. John in that same draft class, and they want Starnes here to come up clutch. They trust him in maybe the biggest point of the game. So that starts with Jorge Polanco. 1-2. Nice curveball. A big strikeout for Julian Starnes, who is fired up on the mound. He is energized. He is showing emotion, which you love to see as he strikes out Brandon Marsh as well. Very good start to the ball game here for Julian Starnes, who strikes out his first 2 batters, and that'll bring up the catcher, Sean Murphy. Count is 2-2 for Murphy. Pitch from Starnes. Swing and a miss. Julian Starnes strikes out the side, and we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Game tied at 4. The Orioles can walk it off and send this one to the ALCS. Let's see if they can do it. That'll start with Carmen Sixto. The 8-9-1 hitters are due up. Sixto, Bowman, and Miller. 2-2 pitch from Barria. This one is popped into shallow left field, caught by Jorge Polanco for out number 1. Good start for the Angels as that'll bring up Xavier Bowman, who has had his fair share of struggles in the playoffs, but he did have a big hit earlier in the game. Bowman lines it nicely into left center. That one's going to drop. A base hit for Xavier Bowman, who is pretty fast with 71 speed, and the potential winning run is now on base for the top of the order. That starts with Jalen Miller, who has really played well, but Miller will not come up to bat. Instead, it's Heston Kjerstad, who is 0 for 6 in the postseason, but the Orioles recognize that he is the best power hitter on the bench. He goes down looking on the fastball. Big strikeout there for Barria as Heston Kjerstad's playoff struggles continue. So now it's down to Shed Lawn to keep this game in regulation. 2 for 4 with a pair of singles today. 364 average in the postseason so far with an OPS nearing 1,300 as he has a wild pitch go by him. Bowman could have stolen second, and that would have put a runner in scoring position, but he's going to stay at first. And Shed Lawn still probably needs an extra base hit to win the game. Goes down looking. That fastball went right down the middle of the plate. I don't know what Shed Lawn was looking for. That was a beauty. Through 9 innings, we do not have a winner. We are getting 3 baseball tonight here at Camden Yards. Los Angeles 4, Baltimore 4 as we go to the 10th. Julian Starnes remains in for the O's as he starts with Edgar Feliz, the top of the order for Los Angeles. He lines out to third. Good play by Castellanos, who has moved over to third base. Mountcastle is now playing short. Heston Kjerstad is now playing right. So those 3 have all kind of swapped. Lourdes Gurriel with a chopper. Nice play there by Julian Starnes, who has retired the first 5 batters he's faced off against. Julian Starnes normally does not go multiple innings. It's a very risky decision to keep him in there, But clearly it has paid dividends as Rendon hits this one into shallow foul territory, caught by Carmen Sixto. What a performance by Julian Starnes in the biggest game of his life with 2 1-2-3 innings. Major shout out to Starnes. Hopefully the Orioles do not waste his dominant 2 innings away and can finish it off here in the 10th. The 3 best hitters on this team, Ling, St. John, and Castellanos, due up. That starts with Lenny Lane, and he will get this one to drop into right center. So Ling is aboard with nobody out. The Orioles have an interesting decision on their hands. Lenny Lane is slow. He has 3 speed. He's a 39-year-old man. However, the Orioles will elect to not sub in a pinch runner. They're going to keep him in. Maybe if there was 2 outs, it would be a different decision. Raisel Iglesias checks in for Jaime Barria. Iglesias has been busy in the postseason. This is his 5th appearance, 4.91 ERA as he faces off against the MVP St. John. As I said earlier, tough decision, but Lenny Lane is going to stay on base. Louis St. John hit a massive home run in his previous at-bat back in the 8th inning to tie this game up at 4. We have had no score change since. And it would be fitting with the bad defensive blunder earlier today. It would certainly be a storybook ending to have Louis St. John walk this game off. 3-1 pitch, grounds it right to short. The worst case scenario, it's a double play. Just cannot do that if you're Louis St. John. And now not only is there 2 outs, but the Orioles don't have a runner on base. And Nick Castellanos probably needs a homer to end this one in 10. He will not homer it, but it is a single into center field. So Castellanos is now aboard. That'll bring up Adley Rutschman, who is one of the most clutch hitters on this team. He always shows up in big-time situations, and obviously he has been great here in the playoffs. 1-1 pitch. It's a dribbler over to second, caught by Gurriel, and we are headed to an 11th inning. No score change through 10, as it doesn't look like either team is going to give in. The Angels have not done anything on offense since the 6th, and other than the Louis St. John home run back in the 8th, the Orioles have been ice cold. The closer, Edwin Diaz, is in the game. The Orioles figured he is their best reliever. Might as well use him because they're not going to be in a save situation tonight as he strikes out Mike Trout. That's a good start. Now against Jesse Winker. Swinging a miss on the 2-seam fastball. The Angels have struck out so many times today, it's unbelievable. Starnes was striking them out like it was nothing. Bieber was. And now Edwin Diaz strikes out the side. Trout, Winker, and Walsh all go down. And the offensive struggles for the Angels continue as we go to the bottom of the 11th. Another opportunity for Baltimore to walk it off. There are 2 outs here for Xavier Bowman. I changed my mind on showing every play because this game looks like it might never end. So I'm just going to go back to showing the important ones as he flies out to center. Caught there by Mike Trout. A 1-2-3 inning. And now we enter the 12th inning. Will Brooks is in for Baltimore, the long reliever. The Orioles are going to hope to get a couple innings out of him. He's someone who can go 2 to 3 innings at a time. As Jorge Polanco grounds it to third, Castellanos bobbles it, but he does make the play for the first out of the inning. Will Brooks, of course, was an all-star this year. He has struggled so far in the playoffs, but he gets through the 12th inning, 1-2-3. Finished off with a Sean Murphy fly out to right. So now in the bottom of the 12th, the Orioles lineup has another opportunity to walk it off. They've already had 3 chances, and they've done nothing with it, but maybe fourth chime is the charm. Michael Feliz is in for the Angels. He's pitched in 1 postseason inning so far, and he allowed a run. Hopefully he allows another one here. Heston Kjerstad was supposed to bat, but the Orioles want someone who can provide more contact, so it's Xavier Edwards who will pinch hit in his place. Count is 2-2, pitch from Feliz, a nasty low and inside slider. That pitch was an absolute beauty. 2 away now for Lenny Lane. He was a couple base hits today. Another one here would be pretty big. Count is full. Pitch from Feliz, ball 4. Lane watches the inside fastball sail by him, and now Lane is aboard for Louis St. John, who has another opportunity to walk this game off, and with 2 away, I think it's a more appropriate time to put in a pinch runner. So Lenny Lane's day is done. Elliot Ramos will check in his place. Ramos isn't some speed demon, but he is the fastest player left on the bench. Louis St. John, 3-2 pitch. Hits it high, deep, into right center. Trout at the wall. It is caught. As we now head to the 13th inning, neither side is giving in, and both bullpens are dominating. The Angels are just not getting base runners, and although the Orioles are getting guys on base, they're not hitting well with runners on. So as we open at the 13th, Will Brooks remains in the game. Nice play at short there by Xavier Edwards. against Edgar Feliz. As you can see, it is the top of the order up. Now Anthony Rendon, who singles it weakly into right field. Had the Orioles not played the shift there, they probably would have gotten him out. So Rendon is now aboard. That'll bring up Mike Trout. 2-2 pitch from Brooks. This one is going to be chopped over to first base, caught by Carmen Sixto, and the Angel lineup still has not scored since the 6th inning. Another scoreless frame there for Will Brooks, and we go to the bottom of the 13th. This game has to end at some point, right? Somebody's got to score a run. Castellanos leads the inning off, hits it weakly into left center. It'll go for a hit. So again, the Orioles are getting early base runners. Will they finally capitalize here in the 13th inning of Game 5? As that'll now bring up Ryan Mountcastle. He started this game 2 for 2, but has 0 for 3 in his last 3, make it 0 for 4. He strikes out at the inside fastball. A nice pitch by Feliz, who the Angels are trusting here in another inning. Carmen Sixto is now up with 2 away, 1-1 pitch. Hits it pretty nicely into center. Probably not deep enough, and it will be caught by Mike Trout. So in the 4 extra innings so far, nobody has scored. The game remains tied at 4, and we now enter the 14th inning. Again, this game has to end sometime, right? With 1 away, Jared Walsh goes down on the 4-seam fastball. Will Brooks is cruising right now. He's currently at 2 2/3 scoreless innings. Jorge Polanco hits it nicely into center. Xavier Bowman could have tried to make a diving attempt at it, but instead, he plays back on the ball to make sure it's not an extra base hit. Smart play there by Bowman, and I think that shows a level of trust in your pitcher to get this next out. That's exactly what happens. Brandon Marsh chops it to short, caught by Edwards. So the Angels still have not scored here in any of the 5 extra innings, and now we enter the bottom of the 14th. Will this be where the game is over, or will we need a 15th inning? Aaron Sledgers, the regular closer, is in for the Angels. Kind of like what we did with Edwin Diaz a couple innings ago. The Angels are figuring, hey, he's our best reliever, might as well use him. Xavier Bowman leads the inning off. The umpire says he went around. Bowman did not like the call, but yeah, I do think he went around. That'll now bring up Xavier Edwards. Is yet to get a hit here in the postseason, and it looks like he might have just changed that. Edwards going oppo poppo. That's going to drop into left for a double. And the Angels are now in some trouble. The Orioles get one of their fastest base runners on in scoring position with 1 away. That brings up Shed Lawn, who has a major opportunity to end the game right here. Count is 2-1. Pitch from Sledgers. This one is hit high, deep, into right field. This one goes off the wall. Xavier Edwards headed to third. He will stay at third. So it's a double for Shed Lawn. 2 runners in scoring position, 1 away for Elliot Ramos. His first at bat of the game, as he had to check in for Lenny Lynn earlier. It's a suicide squeeze. Weekly hit to second. The throw to first is in time, but Xavier Edwards scores in time, and the ball game is over. The Baltimore Orioles have walked it off and have advanced to the ALCS in dramatic 14 innings of baseball. Holy cow, what a game, what a finish. Let's look at this replay again. So Elliot Ramos goes for the weak hit. I don't know why Gurriel doesn't throw it home. Xavier Edwards probably would have been safe regardless, but that's your only chance of winning the game because there was only 1 out. Gurriel must have assumed there was 2 outs because in that case, you can still get the force out at first base to end the inning. They named Louis St. John the player of the game. I feel like that's a weird call, even though he did have that big home run in the 8th inning, and if it weren't for that home run, we would have not won the game. But on the flip side, had it not been for maybe the worst defensive play I've ever seen, allowing the Brandon Marsh inside the park home run, this game would have never had to extra innings, and the Orioles would have won this like 15 minutes ago in real time. So because of Louis St. John, we got to witness some more drama. In 14 innings, the Angels only got 8 hits. Their lineup was just a train wreck in this game. Outside of our defensive blunders in the 5th inning and their hot start to the 6th, the Angels didn't score in the rest of the game, and you got to give a ton of credit to our pitching staff. Shane Bieber was great, even if the numbers say otherwise, and then the bullpen pitched 9 scoreless innings. Hernandez, Poche, and Gratterall were great in regulation. 2 perfect innings from Julian Starnes, a great inning from Edwin Diaz, and then Will Brooks pitching the final 3 innings of this game, getting the win. There's a reason why we invested so much into our bullpen in this series, and tonight proved that, and our pitching was far superior than the Angels lineup. As for us, we hit the ball well. 19 base hits, but we just struggled with runners on. Nobody in particular was great. I mean, Nick Castellanos had 4 hits, but I think they were all singles for the most part. Louis St. John had a big home run, but on defense, he also almost blew the game. I thought Will Brooks should have won player of the game, to be honest, with his awesome 3 innings at the end of the game. And the Angels pitching was on and off. I thought Griffin Canning was below average. He just allowed so many base hits, but their bullpen was pretty good. They did allow some runs here and there, but in the extra innings, outside of Aaron Sledger's, their bullpen was pretty much flawless. So, without a doubt, the craziest game of this series. I told you guys at the beginning of the game, this was an absolute thriller, and I think that was one way to put it. So now we get the Houston Astros in the ALCS, the 2 teams who finished with the best records in baseball. We won 103 games. I believe they won 102 games. So, yeah, 2 best teams in baseball. They have a ton of talent in their lineup with guys like Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Corey Lee, Alex Bregman, and then their rotation. A lot of guys here at the top, and then their bottom 2 starters who have not pitched yet in the postseason are Corbin Burns and Eliezer Hernandez, both of whom are former Orioles. So we do have that storyline of a couple guys who we know quite well on this Astros team. They swept the Detroit Tigers in the first round, only outscoring them by a total of 4 runs in those 3 games, but they won them all. So, wow, I am just completely out of breath. My mind is blown. That game was just unbelievable. So next time we will kick off the ALCS against the Houston Astros in an attempt to make our very first World Series in series history against either Arizona or Atlanta. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.